Line up here. Just follow the elbow. Welcome. Tonight we're doing a back to basics class, going back to sort of fundamental principles, which seem very appropriate as you become them. And we start with a warm-up. Now the warm-up is to kind of tune your mind and body up and run around and do press ups. It's gentle, just follow the lead. So we like to form a circle, but we kind of leave the end up so they can watch online. Okay, so you're going to just gently turn to the left. Most of the exercise are paired. So it's 1, 2, and then you go out there with 3, 4. Okay, so everything kind of goes like that. And when it's paired, first one's for the body, you relax, and then the second one's for the mind. Just see if you can go a bit further. But you never push yourself. Okay, so if I can repeat. Okay, so if you do that exercise, 1, 2, stop. 3, stop. Okay, you should be fine. But if he goes a bit further, then it's quite easy to push him over. So take it to your limit, nobody else's. Okay, none of these Bristol ones are going to do. Don't be brave. You just take it as a good stretch, not when it becomes painful. All right. Pencil. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reaching. Just really expanding your spine through your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Over the shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Just turn the head to the side. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Look around the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. You notice generally we start on the left and move to the right. So your left hand comes up, flexing your arm. This is relaxed. You don't want your hand up in the air. Go a bit more. Up, even more. Thank you. Good. So it drops down and it comes back up. So you're going to let gravity work, let momentum bring it back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First, just a warning here. You'll notice there are walls in this place, so you have to be very aware of the space, because I want the wall to be safe. Okay, so be careful you don't go behind you. Not that you're going to really damage your hand much, but it's also a place of weakness. So if I put my hand behind me and keep testing downwards. I'm very unstable, but if I have my hand to my side and he does the same thing, really strong, really strong. Yes. This is very stable. So when you drop, you want to make sure that you stay in a strong place. Everything's about, in Aikido, is about being as your body can be. If you just put everyone put their arms there. Okay, how long do we want to stand in this posture for? You need to notice your shoulders. They're working. We could do this for quite a long time. We could make this the lesson. Could we endure this? But you take it, right? Now, if you just release it, notice how released that feels. Yes. So everything in Aikido should feel like silky cream. If it feels rough and clunky, you did it wrong. Okay? Left hand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember the notes. 1, 2, 4, 5. when you did your very first lessons, how did you feel at the end of it?
Right.
And?
Well, the 10.
Yeah, and probably a bit overwhelmed with the amount of information that's coming your way. Okay, so you're going to find, oh my God, there's too much coming, but in the end, it will begin to settle down. So just be prepared for that. So when you're wrist stretch, so you put your palms, you can see the back of the hand, you cover it with the other hand, and you're gently going to extend your fingers back towards your wrist, and you're going to make sure that your elbow comes down. Right, so chest down here is good, but if let me have a look. I put it to there and he tries to maintain that, and I test. So, with gravity, your elbow will naturally come there. I actually have to tell my arm to go there, even though I'm not aware of it, I have to hold it there. So we're always trying to be aware of what will be the natural way to do this. Fingers should be pointing back to the back of your arm, not this side of this one. So you want that way. So you should like a dying swan. Okay, that is just keeled over. Okay. And notice that you can build up the stretch, and there comes a point where it begins to hurt. Right. So take it to the point of comfort. Can I test you? Here's the place of comfort. Test. Okay, it's not too bad. We'll improve that as we go along. Now, push it further so it hurts. You notice it's more stable there. It's slight pain. Push it further. Good. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on board, you two. So you're going to be looking at the palm of your hand. Up, little finger comes round, the little finger goes in the crease of the wrist, and the thumb comes up between these two fingers. So as you drop down, you put a stretch on it. Again, your body will tell it when to stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you swap hands. So there we go with the crease of the wrist, thumb between the two fingers, and then we drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we swap again. I'll make it a personal exercise to see if I can not lose contact with myself. 1, 2, which is hard to do actually. It's very difficult to lose contact with yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Palm facing into the circle, thumb down. These fingers go over the top, thumb comes down the back. And the idea of this is to stretch the wrist this way. So as you're pushing out, you're stretching the wrist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's always a mental component to these exercises. So I am stretching the body, but I'm also extending my energy away. So key would be the simple word for that. I'm using my energy. I'm sending it to Nick, if you like, over there. I'm not just thinking, oh, it's a difficult day today. I'm actually putting my mind into the exercise. Swap hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And you shake away through the troubles. Yeah. What do you feel now? Tingle? That's finished. Down on the floor. Legs out in front. I want you to relax your arms on your legs, dead weight. So, yes, perfect. So that there's a logic connection, skin to your legs. So yes. You are going to do that, just to please me. So stretch out like that. What do you notice in your body? Caroline, what do you notice?
It hurts on my knees.
Where else do you notice? Where else do you notice? Okay, anything else do you notice? Okay, and lots of, for me, I find lots of tension in my shoulders. Am I the only one for that?
No.
Not yet. Okay, so I'm really noticing the muscles working. So I'm very weak. As soon as I let go, oh, it feels nice and comfortable and relaxed. So we're going to slide forward. We move as a unit. In Aikido, when a bit of you moves, all of you moves, really. So don't just stretch your arms. Don't do chicken head. You're trying to keep a nice straight body, and you're going to go forward as far as you can. When you normally will find a place where you can stop, then relax, and then go again, and go again, and go again, and then go again. And if you can't go again, just hold it and breathe, and then come back. And stretch out as you go. Keep your arms on your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not that it's wrong to stretch out. It's just a question of what we're practicing. We're practicing relaxation of mind and body. There's tension in that. So it might get a better physical stretch, but it doesn't release your mind, which is what I'm trying to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Okay, open your legs as far as you're comfortable to open your legs. That's ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to do that. Everybody goes to their limit, right? So this time, it's the same kind of exercise. We slide to the left, but we're going to look to the right. We put our intention on the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another rule for this club. If there's something going on in your head, it's a question to ask it. Don't think, that's stupid, why are we doing that? Ask the question, why are we doing that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to slide down the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Put these together. Now hold your toes, don't pull your toes. Just straighten your back a bit. Let the weight hang out from your knees and let it drop down. And then we start to introduce a little bit of movement so we get some flexibility in our hips. And bow forwards again. Don't pull your head down. Keep a light touch here. You're going to be bending forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. You're going to come up on your knees. Possibly, you're going to place your hands before you put your forehead on it. And then just relax. And let your spine stretch out a bit. Breathe. And just notice what's going on in your body tonight. Any aches and pains that you want to acknowledge, be aware of. Feel good, then be grateful. Not feeling so good, still be grateful, maybe. And slowly you're going to bring your forehead forward, close to the mat, and as you pass your hands, you're going to arch up. And you're going to keep your hips low, and your feet are going to be flat. And then you're going to reverse that. And then forwards. Forwards. One more. Good. Toes underneath you. To the plank. Right, this is yoga really. One arm down, 2 arms down. I said I wasn't making work, but I'm making work and doing it. Up on the left, on your right, down on your left, down on your right, up on your right, up on your left. Work your way back into your down Aikido. Just hold it. Try and keep your feet flat on the floor. Right to your head. Feel the burn. And then walk your hands back to your feet. And trouble them. And then just relax. Try and fold into. Release your hands. And very slowly uncover. Can you just move around this way? Sorry. Great shot, you're very pertinent. You probably enjoyed that. Right, good, all right, so just make yourself comfortable. Go around the mat. It's fine to sit like that. This is kind of the way we do it. I'm only showing you just so you know, you don't have to. This is called sitting with a Caesar. Nick. You can face sideways on. And you, Caesar. Good. Okay. So legs apart. His heels too. If you look at his back, it's nice and straight. If you look at his hands, they're close to his body. Test. He feels like a rock. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to collapse a bit. So kind of a bit slumpy. And immediately I can move him. So you need to sit a bit straighter. Yeah. Even straighter. Ah, look, see, you're a tall person. You should take advantage of that. Right. So that actually is where you're going to start. So this is kind of your first lesson in how is your body designed to be used. We're designed to walk around like this or sit like that. No, we're not. We're supposed to allow our spine to support ourselves. If you want to avoid back troubles in later life, it's really important to be aware of how you're using your back. And generally it needs to be straight and it needs to be supported by your hips, which are supported by your legs, which are supported by your feet. Right, so the exercise is just to come down in a very controlled way. And then your partner will test you. You test, so if I can just test you, so the test is not this. Okay, it's a light touch. Light touch. I'm basically putting a bit of intention into this. I'm trying to feel what's going on in here. I'm trying to see if there's any reaction to what I do. So if he's not really with it, you're thinking out there, when I touch, he just will go anyway. If he's of a fighting mind, when I touch, he pushes into me and I can feel that. So then what I do is I test his mind. What I want is a neutral one. I don't want him to be fighting. I want him to be happy with where he's at. So when I test, actually, I feel no reaction. It just feels solid. When I felt that solidity just for his purpose, I'll increase the physical pressure so he knows that was very effective. Okay, so we're going to pair up. We're going to come down in this very controlled way. Please don't wait 5 minutes to test. Try to test fairly rapidly. And then as we come back up, go down. Test front, back, up. Front, back. Off you go. Yes, Kevin, with Ella. Laura to the Paramount. Did I say it right? So you go down. Good.
Pretty good. Next one.
Cool. So, just a little one.
Okay.
One. Test you again.
Well,
So
start
what
with
I like to do is swing your arms back and then let them drop onto your lap. Yes, we have a little bit further back. So we're going to try from there.
The moment you've gone one.
Do you want to further forward?
Compensate what we're doing. Okay.
Isn't that weird? Okay, because when you're really relaxed, this is where your hand can go.
Sometimes
So if it just
think
notice
where
what's
your
going on in your
belt
shoulders.
noise.
Oh,
Right?
yes. Previously was a little wobble.
The body says, oh, that's very comfortable, thanks very much.
So again,
Put your
again.
hands
Think
just
where
on
I'm
the
touching.
forward. Right, okay. Not much to notice, but something to notice there, right? So there's just a tiny bit of tension there. Your body, the subconscious is saying, I like tension, so we're going to test you.
Yeah.
So.
Away you go.
No, that's right. Yes, as soon as I lift it, my awareness.
Yeah.
It would be right the rest. I've got like this. So one, and at the same time you go through. So I said one. Yeah. So here we go. One. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so it's
One.
you always want to be right by your pocket side for first.
Just get
So be right by your side.
Yeah, one, and then.
Or on the other side again.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't take much. So, we're going to put that right in a minute. Okay, everybody done that?
One.
All right, so moving on. Hello, time to start. Please. Okay, so you can just face that way for me. So on a test, am I touching you hard? No, but you're moving, aren't you? Okay. So here's your first basic principle. You need to be centered at all times. So on a touch, what happens to your mind? Where does your mind go to? Perfect. That's what most human beings will go, especially if some stranger touches them. Oi, what's going on here? Right? So your mind goes to there. So is that the center of you? No. So when you're not centered, I can move.
Team notifications.
So now,
Facebook.
what we're going to do,
Now. Facebook watch. New video from Dato Raileka Jujutsu Tatsu Aramaka. Jayakuda Suki Henka. Attachment. 19. 28. Facebook watch. New video from Dato Raileka Jujutsu Tatsu Aramaka.
So just be aware.
Jayakuda Suki Henka. 1928. 1929.
Your mind where you're touching. Got it? Okay, so take your hand away. Keep your mind there. So I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder, but you don't let your mind move from that place. Remarkable. There you go. But if I was to tap you on the head like that in an annoying way, immediately I can move you. Okay, so this is being centered and fundamental principle to Aikido, fundamental principle actually to any martial art, fundamental principle for life. Okay, so when you're kind of distracted and not really there, things go wrong. They don't go as well as they can. When you're in a centered place, you take on much more information and feedback, and you tend to perform much better. Doesn't mean you perform miracles, doesn't mean to say you can solve all problems. It just means that you can operate at the peak efficiency for you, given your knowledge and abilities at this time. So it's a state that we want to become very aware of. What does it feel like to be centered? So if you just think about being centered now, do you feel solid or light?
Pretty, like, kind of both.
Okay, that's not a bad answer actually. What else does it make you feel in touch with the ground or otherwise?
In touch.
Okay. When I ask you to, what's your awareness like of what's going on in the room?
I'm mostly focused on you, but I can.
You're aware of them as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, if I ask you to think about my finger on your head, how good are you at focusing on anything else other than my finger on your head?
I mean, not very well.
Yeah, it takes away your focus, doesn't it? That sort of that setting is like calm water. It reflects really well. When you're centered, you're like calm water and you kind of can see the view. When you're not, when you're a bit agitated, when you're a bit tense, a lot of information you miss. And if you miss information, you make wrong decisions. If you make wrong decisions, that can have consequences. Got it? Okay. So we will practice being centered. You guys that know how to do this, then find a test that's more challenging. Right. And Laura, if you have to try on with the program, that would be just simply marvelous. And Jan, Kevin, where to get the most. Nice and straight to the core. What I'll get to is what happens when you do like that? What happens if you put a little bit of weight on one side as opposed to the other, and it's not even this way? It's just small differences make a big difference.
For instance, it's usually supposed to be 3 fingers. Well, usually for most people, it's very central.
It's exactly where
Belly
I was
button.
touching.
Belly button.
Well, the two are the same. They're about the same.
Okay, so it's impossible to, I think this is good. They're thinking about
Yeah.
So that's the feeling.
No, I didn't.
Think about it like 1 point.
So when you test, you don't want to test me like that because there's going to be tension there.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
A bit more
So
actually.
it's sort of sensitive muscle awareness, so it's not just
Yeah.
everything out.
So, yeah, just remove.
Yeah.
So you're not going to stop it.
They kind of like that. So make them get the stress out.
Okay, well, if you have it, your arms is slowly.
Another thing, stretched out. As if you're really stuck back. It's not easy to like
Trying to stay centered. I'm not sure balance as well.
but like no.
Okay, so just noticing. I'm on what you do.
We've done that before.
Very fixed, trying to, you kind of internalize them, I think. I want you to be right. Okay, so I want you just to be focused on what's going on. Yep, so just be more natural. Put the happy face on. Yes. Just be even mental decent. No. Yeah, I think. All right, so I think it's something that just make you angry yourself. Got something? So even. Right. So now I think something
Why
else
else
is
would
really
I
good.
give you a
Got it?
What was your name?
That's the most solid thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Detector.
Yeah. So if you're kind of like in a calm, kind of happy place, then any conflict place can be stabilized. You just don't bounce off it. Yeah.
So that's our first basic principle. We want to be centered, and we can test that in so many ways. And we can become centered by following other principles. We don't have to think, I'm going to be centered now. We can think, I'm going to be grounded, or I'm going to be relaxed, or I'm going to be aware of what's going on in the room. And they all have different aspects, but they all end up with the same result. Okay, so our second rule is that we're going to be very grounded. So instead of thinking of your center, again, you do such a good job. Can you put me on the ground? So remember, nice straight back, and remember where your hands need to go. Okay, so if I do a gentle test, okay, this is our testing test to see what's going on, our neutral test. And shift you. Right, okay, good. No, not good, because we'll change it. All right, so now I want you to be aware of what you can feel underneath your legs. Okay, so you can now become aware of what you're touching and what you're kneeling on and what that feels like. Bring your attention to that. You there? Okay. So you do the same test, but keep your awareness there. And now, you feel like a two-ton brick. But if instead I bring your awareness to there, it's very easy. So we want to be grounded. We stay there. We're solid as a rock. But if I can move your mind, then I can move you. All right, so go. Another practice with that. Jumping with okay, cool. So, test. Yeah, it's good. It should be good. All right, so you're thinking of that. Question. To practice ground. Yeah, you're touching. And now you're really focusing on that. It's even better. I mean, it's just a teeny bit of movement that's just disappeared.
Do you feel the body is fighting?
Yeah.
So,
But if I can
relax the body, and relax the mind as well.
I know what's coming.
If you think your weight underneath your palms,
Obviously, you know, this is enough. My body's ready. That's the idea. But suddenly, you have a lot more stability.
That's a relief.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so so let's do the smashing of the wall. Hands here. And then let them fall. Notice where they are. Close to your body so they were small change, isn't it? But now you're solid. That's cool. Okay. So you go. So you might say, well, we're just doing sort of, you might say, very esoteric exercises. What's this got to do with martial art and all that? But we're just trying to find you simple ways of seeing what it means to follow these rules and what happens if you don't. But if I'm grounded and he grabs my wrist and if he grabs my wrist and pushes, and I panic, go on, push. It's quite easy to move me. If instead, when he grabs and he extends toward me, what I do is I take that energy and I take it down to my back leg. So the harder he pushes, the more he's nailing me into the ground, as far as I'm concerned. This has practical application. So now I'm very difficult to move. Whereas, oh no, he's got me! Yeah. So sometimes we want to move. press, don't do that. But if I'm on the edge of a cliff, maybe, at the edge of a cliff there, then they go probably. So I need to hold my ground. Yeah, so all these things have applications in our art, right? So maybe you'd like to try that. So let it grab and just get a little bit panicky. So you can get panicky by kind of making the panicky face. And then you can say, hey, Nico's coming. That's great. Let's see what happens. Okay.
So,
Laura, if you come over this way. Yes, he's solid, isn't it? Good thing too.
Okay, let's try to get it.
You're in the middle.
Okay.
I didn't think you would work, did you?
So again, fight.
You just keep going on.
Wow. This is the smart way to fight.
Yes.
Don't fight.
Not even that. Totally relaxed, it's like.
Oh, thank you. You know it's coming.
So like the hands, both like kind of robots, it's like right like that. Offering left or right here.
Okay, that's better.
So at this
Try
point,
to a little more upright. Yes, of that. And imagine this coming into the back of the So this back leg is a little bit soft. So if I'm straight over, make it hard.
imagine that suddenly
If I'm going to make this super soft, so I'm sinking into the ground like mud. See if that helps. Just a little bit.
so now resist.
See.
No.
Okay, so now we're doing the other. Okay. Actually, it's better if you engage with this. So it's like shaking its high. Nice to see how to do it. Rather than this is kind of going into myself. It's probably going on the outside. I don't want to do that. Or it's he wants to push me, but yeah, it's going into my own leg. The smile on your face, I like it. So you actually take it rather than trying to resist. Makes sense?
I'm just getting trying to piece it together, just roughly how we work it.
Yes.
So between and then for my kids, I thought getting to Judo. Burwell seems to be the best.
Everybody happy with this? Right, okay, here's the next test. You want to know what keywords, right? So I'm going to play with that a bit. Okay, so I just want you to lift your arm. Don't think of anything at all. Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what happens when you're not thinking of anything at all. The arm bends really easily. Okay, so now you don't want me to bend that arm. You're not going to let me bend it, right? Okay, you're going to use all your strength and powers to resist me, right? Okay. Super strong, Ella. Oh, wasn't that still in there? Okay, but you've just spotted the cutest kitten in the world down there in the changing room.
We actually do have very good kids.
I could get you a kitten to point out, but for the moment, you're going to show me where that kitten is. See that super cute kitten, and you're going to put your mind on the super cute kitten. Whatever I do here, you're just going to stay with the super cute kitten. Got it? Okay. With the super cute kitten. That's pretty good. That's key for you. Okay. Was it magic? It's not really magic, is it? Because you could do it. We can all do this, okay? This is just what we're capable of. when we're relaxed and we're positive, it's really, you know, we don't have to use any muscle power. All we have to do is just accept. In fact, we can be curious about this, more curious. Yeah, he's using a lot of strength there. That's really interesting. We make it about us. Oh my God, he's going to test me. Then it becomes a problem. But when it's just about, yeah, hallelujah. Or the super cute kitten down there, then it's fine. All right, so it may not be a super cute kitten for you, it could be something else.
Yes, it's.
Yeah, okay.
Keep it nothing on so point to the screen.
So you have intelligence and so on.
It's my favorite to do is to show but it's all about me, isn't it? When I actually join this, yeah, I can explore it.
If you point to the screen,
Well, I
my mind will actually go to not doing anything.
So you're interested in my touch. What does it feel like? What's going on with you?
So as long as my imagination
You're just observing everything that's going
but not many people want their time.
on. You have a go?
So
So we're doing this one. It's over there.
Means the attack is always going to be solid. So as long as
And notice that your legs are quite solid.
if I extend this,
Flexible.
so
You just do that.
the muscles are not tense as well. So if you know tense the muscles,
So. Again, this. We're good. Good. All right.
make it.
Swing victims. Okay, so you're going to put your hand up. What I want to do is I want you to think of the end of your fingers. Just the end of the fingers. Good. Okay, I'm going to think there, but you're just going to think of the end of your fingers, right? Got it? Did you think the same place? But I'm thinking here. Okay. So now you're going to think to there. You will imagine your arm stretches to there. Okay. Got it? Got your stretching it out? It's a magic arm. Go to there now. I'm still thinking here. Don't point down to the ground. Just, you know, it's an imaginary wall here. Okay, so I'm going to test you here, but you're going to put your mind in it. Solid here. I'll go to that map then. Not solid. Where would you like to go this time?
To the kitten.
To the kitten! It's going to the kitten, all right. Well, to the kitten. I'm going to put it to the end of the map. The kitten's in the changing room, right? I've got it right, haven't I? Okay. Brilliant. Where are you going to put your mind this time?
Beyond.
Beyond.
Even further.
Even further. What would be even further for you? I can tell you out there, there's my garage, then there's some stables, there's a field behind that, there's a river behind that, some more fields. What is that?
Like the field.
The field, okay. You put it to the field, it's beyond the building, right? Okay. So I will think to my garage then, seems fair. Okay. Okay, thinking of the field still? Come on, push your hand up. You feel? I know a field beyond the field, so that's bad news for you. So you bend it now. Where would you like to put your mind now?
To outer space.
Outer space. Wow. Well, that's a long way, isn't it? Outer space. I'll try that field. Right, that's not working for me. Keep it on outer space. I'm going to go to infinity and beyond. Yes. Yes, I'm a champion. Where you put your mind, it's limitless. Only limited by your imagination. Right? So if you think you can't do something, and there are limitations, then that's the limitation that you will work to. Okay. If you push the boundaries, you might just surprise yourself. But a rule for life. It's not about one to test. Don't go too far beyond the boundaries, you'll fall over. But test it. And when you're comfortable there, test it here. And then there. You push it outwards. Okay, have a go. We're starting now, it's not basic.
Okay.
Fingertips.
So
More on your wrist. So test. He's pretty good also. So now you're allowed to put your mind to that. So you're imagining to actually take your mind from the other fingertips and make those out. Do that. So, if I'm going to put my mind there, and I'm going to bring it back to him, it's there, and then I bring it back to him. So everything all follows that. My imagination is taken from him. Because it's his imagination that has it.
That's always thinking, where is this going?
Yes, yes. So I put my imagination there. I'm going to bring the energy back from there. He's a good one. So now I find a kitten.
I'll tell you where my mine is, so you
I'm
can
gonna
find
tell
it.
you,
Fingers goes to the right.
Yeah.
Beyond your fingertips. So just there. You can bring that from there.
Yeah.
Try to put this
What do you
side.
think?
A little further. A little
Just think
further.
again.
Okay. Okay, so Cambridge didn't work out to be right.
Cambridge.
Yes. All crunched up into this thing. So because that means he's had an impact. Keep your mind up, stay nice and relaxed.
Using that imagination.
And you stopped when you wanted. How we doing? All right. So we've got being centered, we've got being grounded, we've got this rule of extending key, which sounds like it's magic, but it's really just putting yourself out there in the world. It's giving your attention to what's going on generally, putting your intention somewhere, putting your focus on something, these are words we understand. It's not magic, it's a totally natural process. But as soon as you come up into your head and kind of limit your capabilities, then it just doesn't work. The last rule is basically be positively relaxed. Okay, so everybody, how should we test this today? Okay, we will do it just from standing. Okay, so relaxed in his body means that he understands how his body works. So he stands nice and straight, so nowhere's got any particular tension. He's looking out in front of him. This should be good. This is a very natural posture. You notice his hands are hanging slightly in front of him. His feet are slightly apart. If I ask him to bring them really close together, this is not the way that most of us stand. Okay, and there's kind of a bit of wobble on that. So his subconscious probably registers that. Quite easy to move him.
Because when he gets the call, just to stay upright.
Yeah. So when I ask him just to stand upright, he'll never do it like that. Well, he might, but hopefully he won't. Most of us will have a little hip width. Right? Everybody's different, but it's about hip width. And I won't tell you where to put your feet, but you probably find they're very slightly outwards. They're not dead front, and they're not usually duck feet. You can try all of those postures and see what happens when you try. But you're going to take the most natural posture you can. Cool. So now I'm going to ask him to just change one thing in his body. He's going to put a bit of tension into his body somewhere. So he might push down from one foot, or he might clench a fist, or clench his jaw, or tighten his tummy muscle. Something that I can't really notice. Okay? Have you done something?
Yep.
That immediately changes the whole structure. Right? So when you put tension in your body, your subconscious is saying, do you know, I don't really like this, to making you work harder than they need to. And then it's very easy to loosen. Okay. Is it just a lump of meat, do you think? What do we reckon? Lump of meat? Or are we going to opt for something else? He's a person, isn't he? Right? So we've got mind and body, right? So tension isn't just a state of mind, is it? Everybody talks about stress and tension these days. Are they talking about their bodies? No, mostly they've forgotten they've got a body. It's all about this, the stress they feel in their head. It does come out in their body. There is stress and tension in their muscles, but they're not paying attention to that. They're paying attention to the worries and concerns and anxiety they have. So you can think something really nice. Okay, your lovely son is behaving beautifully. And you're really sorry. Now it's the 5th time he's woken you up this night.
Ooh.
You've had 2 terrible
So we make
nights.
it 8 or 9.
Okay, 8 or 9. Pretty grotty when he's done it this time. Focusing on that feeling. Okay, and away we go. So you have mental attention.
14 notifications. Facebook. Now. John Howard posted in flat-coated retrievers. Been there. Done it. Attachment. 19. 59. John Howard posted in flat-coated retrievers. Been there. Done it. 14 notifications. Facebook. Now. John Howard posted in flat-coated retrievers. Been there. Done it. Attachment. 19. 59. John Howard posted in flat-coated retrievers. Been there. Done it.
Comes out. Okay, off you go, play. Right, okay, so just to find the best place for you. Second.
Go to one yellow.
Okay, so now you're going to
15 notifications. News. Now. Apple News Spotlight. Why teens are developing sudden. Serious text bullet. How the war looks on Russian TV bullet. More top reads. 20. Apple News Spotlight. Why teens are developing sudden. Serious text bullet. How the war looks on Russian TV bullet. More top reads.
You are there. But you're thinking here, yes? Okay. So, yeah, just next to them until you're getting used to it.
With it.
Yeah. It doesn't take so now. I would say just like to move. So find out. So
Yes.
practice, then you can become very but that kind of it's just the difference. Just because it's not a left. Yeah, because yeah, expect the left to something fully, but once you think same time.
Oh, I'm saying, okay.
We probably building a thing, almost putting yourself up. So
And sometimes I feel that's all good.
not quite, not quite. So here's almost, you see, like moving, because I'm expecting to forward. I'm thinking like, well, you push me, I'm thinking like, well,
So remember what happened on the solution?
Okay.
So if you're going to touch it, if you go to a fraction, too late. It's got to through that hole and go together. So, second, what he can do to help is just leave it there for a second before the test.
Yeah, so we can actually
And maybe that's the same.
Okay.
So,
So standing the same line.
so we're in the same, yeah.
This is what you do.
Is that self-realization?
maybe like, what's your toes?
You can import it. So, remember I said,
Yeah.
usually it will work, so focus on that little kid. Right, just focusing on the kid, you're not thinking about the test.
I mean, since you have to bring a kid to
I'm gonna have to bring this through, so it's
These tips in your little finger.
Yeah.
So you
Excellent.
naturally react when you think something forward.
Used to it.
When you, okay, so you've got it, then the trick is to say, how did my body feel when I thought like that?
Trying to figure out what makes me upset, makes me upset.
And actually, you probably can replay. Oh yeah, I got pretty solid. Wow. I didn't notice any tension in my voice. And then what you can do is you can reverse the process. Okay, I'm going to concentrate on having good connection to the ground, having no tension in my body. That's how I'm going to relax in my body. Feel a nice relaxed body? Yeah, that's mine. So relax your body. No tension. I'm going to put my hand on your shoulder. I'm just going to wait, let you settle. It's harder than you think to pass these tests, especially the first time out. Grabbing hold of you and doing stuff.
So there's no possible failure in terms of
Yeah, it's not. For better or worse, you decide which of the mistakes you prefer. If you are falling over all the time, I don't know.
The situations arise, exercise and practice. Essentially, calm.
Back to your centre. Use one of the other rules to get back there. I'm centered or grounded. Yeah.
Okay.
Then you notice what's going on in your body. Oh yeah, I'm nice and relaxed, aren't I? Okay, I'm going to focus on being nice and relaxed. Oh, I'm not going to tense up just because it's my hand on the back. Sorry. There you go.
I was looking at
Okay. So there are 4 core ideas. Okay, we want to be centered. We want to be grounded. We want to be positively relaxed. So not, oh, end of the day, thank God. Not that type of relax. That's a kind of dead relaxation. There has to be some energy in this. You have to feel like you were at a good party. Or any situation that makes you feel those good parties, any situation that makes you feel good, right? That's sort of relaxed. When you're totally at ease with yourself and your situation, whatever that situation is. When you're at your most beatific and feeling lovely, that's the state you're in, that sort of positive relaxation. Take yourself to that place, your happy place, okay? And the last one is thank you. So being out there in the world. So how many times a day, as you walk along the high street, you see people doing this? They have no idea at all what's going on around them. Do they? They can get hit by cars, they can bump into people, they can walk into trees. All their focus is on this. This is not very sensible. It's not the time and place. If you want to focus on the phone, stop. Focus on the phone and then go on with the rest of your life. Okay? So people don't. I remember doing a course. It's an embodiment course where you kind of learning about the awareness of your body. And we went out at lunchtime and I watched all the people. And nearly everybody was down like this. And if they didn't have a phone, they were still staring at the thing because they didn't want to engage with anybody else. So make it a point as when you're out there walking in the world, lift yourself up, notice what's going on, and if there are other people, smile and say hello. Do you know what they'll do? They'll smile and say hello back nearly all the time. And when they do, you see them lift, because you know that you've made their day a little better. And actually you feel a bit brighter because you feel that contact with another human being. So it's a really, really silly game you can play, but it's a lovely, positive habit to develop. It gives you confidence. Do you see confident people walk into a room like this? Not very often, you don't. Confident people, they walk into a room, they take everything in, and what's more, everybody else takes them in. On the whole, they're noticed. Yeah, they kind of give off this vibe. That's key too. It's charisma. It's that feeling of, oh, yeah, I can follow that person. Yeah. Okay, so, right, what we're going to do next rule. Nico, please. You're going to stand up and you're going to be pushing. All right, so he's pushing from up high, so this should be right. So it is. Okay, so now I'm going to try and take this down to my legs. So I'm just going to accept it. So I'm rather than resist it. Oh no, you don't, I don't want to. As soon as you think I don't want to be pushed over, you will be pushed over. It's a much more advantageous situation. But actually, I'm going to take everything he's going to give me. And I can take a lot more. And now I'm going to help the process. I'm just going to put my hands here and I'm going to channel this down into the ground. So it's like drilling for oil as far as I'm concerned. You can really take a lot. So channel myself behind you. You're going to push in. You're going to push in, pushing the knees. Okay? Okay, go on then. You're going to go. Okay. Hey Pete, do you want to join? Yeah, come on, it's building now. So, shall we play? Who should we put at the front first? Laura, well done. Okay, so Nick first. Nice. Okay, then join in. You're pushing the cushion. Yeah, come on, try now. Come on, go for it. Come on, better. No, you're not really pushing things. Come on. Really go. Go on, push. Good. Okay. Right, okay, very good. Take them in front. Have a break. Jan, you can push first. So you're accepting the push. Don't try and resist the push. Just take it on board. Use it to help you. Oh, okay, pretty good, pretty good. Have another go. Get 2 swings at the coconut. Yeah, look at that. Come on. Go, girl. Okay, Pete. Okay, don't lean into that, Nathan. Just take it down. Okay, we can add one. Laura, and Nico first then, because he's first there. Good, good, good. Okay. Yeah, go on. We'll add one more. Laura. You should go with me. Never mind, I'm really good. Here they go. So don't push back, light touch, drain everything down to the ground. Nice one. Jan? Yeah. One more, Ella, go on. See if you can break the camel's back. Oh, yes. The touch of your daughter. See if you can daughter. Ella, you want to go? Right, so I'm going to come to the front. So my hands are here, okay? Your hands, it's something, you don't push it's something. Okay, so you're going to put your hands there, nice and give it a chop. Yeah, very good, okay. So now my hands come lightly to me. Palms up, and meet. Right, no hard contact, is there? You're not trying. I'm not going to try. Okay, so now you don't have to touch. Just like that. So nice and calm. Nice. Got them in the end, but that's very good. Think of this sinking down to the ground. So as I push, you're going to take it. You're going to imagine there's a line of water or light, whatever, going down through your body, down into the ground. So it's like a waterfall. It falls forever. As far as you can imagine, how goes your imagination? Oh yeah, we remember that. It's quite good. You got it? It's falling. Okay, not bad though, not bad. Okay. What's the point I'm going to come back? Yeah, the general point here is that you're not trying to get in the way of the other person. Right? So, what do I mean by that? That's me getting in the way of him. I'm trying to block what he's trying to do. Yeah, push back effectively. Comes a struggle. Whoever's strongest wins this one. So I'm not going to try to. Hopefully, my posture doesn't change at all. Just this light touch. If I make it hard, straight through. Right, light. Yes, I'm going to take everything you give me is going to do me good. It's really going to do me good. So as soon as I have an element of doubt, which understandably, first time out, I would expect an element of doubt. But I don't doubt myself these days, not very much anyway. I'm very happy to be here, to explore what he's up to. Very interesting. You want to give that a go, pair up and try it? Yep. Go on, go for it. Wherever you end up with this, wherever you end up with this, oh, I can see. Oh, right, hold on. Hello.
Messenger called Judy Dyer.
Thanks. So now we'll test it. You're nice and soft. This is a good starting place. Okay, put my hands lightly on the shoulders. Yes. So now I'm just going to start touching the feet. Okay, so
Straight down.
I can feel like so you're taking a whole but what I can't feel is any individual. So it's like I'm slightly switched off. Sorry. And that's where I went. Well, I'm the reason.
But it's not very good, eh? And you can hear it, you can pick up. Yeah.
Swap round and give my feet a chance to
What the reason as well, take that force. And I'm going to use that to secure
So what the peak is.
So I'm challenging. I'm actually thinking.
Close your energy.
Very light touch. If the tension increases, because you're pushing. Well, I'm not going to
Thinking more.
Even thinking ground, just go
So I'm doing something in my mind.
Notifications. Messenger. Now. Judy Dyer. Sorry, I forgot about a kiddo. 20. 17. Judy Dyer. Me, I forgot about a kiddo.
Who has a, I'd say higher will, you know,
imagination, like you think up to a point, I have to, but again, the other thing is, we're in a nice environment, enjoying ourselves. That's like an experiment where you.
I remember from some years ago, so
The police.
recycle it too. You can do that. So it becomes a perpetual circle, so whatever she gives you, you're giving back to her. That works. I find that the grounding one is better. Because then the whole Okay, so Mark. Alright, we will do that, just as a point to stop this. Right. So, okay, so at the moment he's pushing quite hard. So what are my options here? My option is just to stay solid. My option is to say, oh, it wants to come in. So not to resist, but to accept. What does he expect me to do when I
17 notifications. Messenger. Now. Judy Dyer. I forgot what day it was, but I love you. Call me when you are done. XX. 20. 18. Judy Dyer. I forgot what day it was, but I love you. Call me when you are done. XX.
or resistance. Yeah, we're going to a fight, and whoever has superior force is going to win. Okay. But in Aikido, we don't really fight. We just say, oh. Apparently he wants to go that way. I can preserve my strength, but he can go there if he wants. Oh, he's lost his ability now, because he's not expecting that. He starts off quite good, nice posture, but if I just collapse, he loses his posture. Did you see that? Body shape? Did you notice it? So he doesn't come round like that. Okay, which we do if I but if I kind of just at the moment just disappear, he's lost his structure. He's lost his structure. We tested in the beginning, didn't we? Good structure. Solid. Change your structure, not solid. So I only need to change his structure a bit for me to have an opening to change this relationship between these two. Did you really want to do that? Did you really want to attack me? Are you sure that was the outcome you were expecting and wanting? I'm there to facilitate the outcome of negative action like that. It's not to hurt him. Actually, I want to look after him. I want, if I can, I want to make sure that he's safe and I'm safe. To show him the consequences of his action, usually an attack comes from tension in the mind. I want to win. rather than, I can live with this person, the world will be a much easier place. Right now, if we just live side by side, just accept that not everybody wants to think the same as we do. I don't need to have that land. I'm happy in my land, in my house, living life the way I want to live my life. Okay, so we could do that. We could just not do that. Or we could just change the direction. So we could go down and up and then down. Which we could do. Just slightly them out. Now, it's quite a nice little whistle. So, you come to the outside, show the palm of your hand. So you can start with your, like this. Palm facing one wall, back of your hand facing that one. Don't start here, you start there, that's what's going to happen. And here, I can hold him out if I want to. I'm going to come underneath and over the top and show the wave at him. Hello. And I'll put our fingers there to hold that there. So if you try to pull his hand away, it's in the middle. If I try to keep him, where's he on? So don't try and hold him, just connect to him. And then say, oh, do you mind if I paint a line down your wall? So don't try to do this with physical force. Okay, I'm going to use a little physical force. Okay, so I am not pushing this result. It's uncomfortable for him if I do, but he's centered enough to be able to stop it. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to connect with him. Oh. I'm going to do that with him. Yeah, so it's that energy. I take what he's giving me and I say, oh, you've given me a present, would you like it back? Just try that and I'll finish it tonight. Okay. Isn't it? Aramon, Warman. Oh, I'm not going to run at you a million miles an hour. Well, I know you're trying to take my space. Yes, I want to feel you.
Got you.
So they stop there.
Oh, isn't it? Yeah.
It's competitive. So it is. You want to go down, keep going all the way down. So now you release the pen. Because it shouldn't really be so painful. But you should be thinking of something. Easier resistance.
I'm starting to do stuff to you, like you think now you've got something to I give you that.
Is a piece of love, is that correctly? Yeah, that's everything. Just let your hands drop.
Wow.
Yes.
Show me the palm of your hand. Now use your imagination. Yes. So this is a paper.
I really think you're going through
It's long enough to reach my forehead. I don't think I was down my chest.
It's difficult.
You can also say, okay, I'm going to move on. You can actually resist. So
It's okay to break it.
Wow.
that's that kind of Yeah, excellent.
So if I do that, where's my energy going? So it's very hard to.
This was like,
So I need to
just
connect
here
with you.
to me. Yeah, you have crayons. Yes.
Yeah, stay as you are. Just you hold there, I'm going to cover. Yeah. You're getting away if what your body wants to do. So your arm pulls to an arm, but your mind is on me. Got it? Mind on me, but let your body stay moving through it. Yes. No, it doesn't.
Another president. It's fine. It's
Don't push. Stay connected to me. You're staying connected to me, and then I will go down with you. But if you leave your mind there on the push, I can resist it. Right. Yes, be confident, stay with me. As soon as you start looking at your hands, that's where your mind goes to, and then I'll stand up.
See what they mix up.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
I'm there. I'm going to keep, not one with the drum.
Both together, balance.
So there are lessons where we spend our whole time doing stuff like we just done, and much more sophisticated, much more movement, lots more throwing. But occasionally it's really good to revisit the basics and you'll remind yourself of what's really important. Because these basics, they're not just basics for the mat, they're basics for life. And you give me a situation and I can tell you how you can apply all these rules to your daily life and make a difference in your performance every day, in every aspect. You're human, you will lose your sanity. You will kind of lose interest, you will become unhappy at times. But you have to remember that it's in your control to come back to your sanity. It's in your control to relax your body, and that will change your state of mind. And then guess what? You handle your problems better. So if you're feeling stressed out, just spend some time working on your body. And your body will bring back your mind. And that's what we're going to finish with. We're going to just finish with a little bit of breathing. Because there's nothing like a little bit of relaxed breathing for becoming relaxed and centered and peaceful. So I'm just going to ask you to shut your eyes. Just be aware of your posture. Are you supporting your back in the way you should? Are your shoulders relaxed? What are your facial muscles doing? What's your contact like with the ground? Are you aware of that? Do you feel comfortable in your body? Kind of when you've gone through that scan, just put some awareness on your breath. Just notice it. What goes on in your body as you breathe? There's a rhythm. There's a rise and there's a fall. And probably you'll notice that as you focus on that, your breath becomes calmer and longer and deeper. As that goes on, you'll start picking more noises. So you notice the TV when you didn't before, the fan of the computer. So become more aware of the people in the room. to just become more aware of what's going on within you. But the noise in your head quietens. You're more like that reflective pool. You pick up whatever is around. The stillness in this place. The space seems to be more calm. It's calm. It's peaceful. It's a place of possibility. Just slowly bring it back to your entire. Feel calm, peaceful, and positive. And if that is the case, know that you can do that on any time, any place. When the world's getting on top of you, find a place to go and breathe. And then leave. It's a really good way of recentering. Okay. So let's form a kind of semicircle. We can bow out to our friends online. Okay. And now we'll bow out. Thank you very much. So welcome back. It's great to have you back. Really happy that you're here. Lovely always to see new faces. It brings a different energy to any club. You'll know this from the Judo Club and get new people who are coming in curious and enthusiastic. It's just really nice. It's nice to share, and it's just nice to have new bodies to play with. Because you bring unique skills and talents and weaknesses that none of these other people have. So you give everybody in the class a chance to learn from you. You don't just learn from me or from them, you teach us as well. And that's the mindset you have to go about this class. Every single one of you has an opportunity to teach something to somebody. And you share what you've got honestly and openly, and sometimes you benefit, sometimes they benefit, sometimes you both benefit. It's a good way to do it.
Can I say that, like, if you give something, kind of like, almost like, without expecting a return, but you give it, your kind heart, you always get something back. It's especially, you don't just not expect, as if it's an obligation of the person to return. But if you just give, usually kind of like that kind of an attitude will actually reflect back.
So if you want to be selfish, give a lot, because you get a lot. Yeah, that's very true. Really is true. How did you find it? Thoughts?
Yeah.
So you enjoyed it. You're glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. They probably don't care at all. I do, though.
I worry about Dad. It's got a lot of homework to do on its own. It's going to be sick of it.
All right, let's finish. Thanks very much. Let's go on to next. It's good to know, isn't it? All arms intact. No bruises, I hope.
So, ready?
Well, then don't do it. Do it for a little bit, and they will soften up. But when it becomes uncomfortable, then the sensible thing is to stop.